Good morning. Today we are going to start the last topic of this polar integral, that is changing Cartesian integral into polar integral. So in the previous lecture we did how we can use polar graphing or polar integrals to find to use the polar coordinates to find the double integral. The reason why we switched to polar coordinates was, as I have told you earlier, that in case of polar coordinates, sometimes the region of integration, from where we usually derive the limits of integration of region capital R, then sometimes in case of polar coordinates or in case of polar curves, that is easy to draw. That is easy to draw as compared to Cartesian region of integration. Region of integration will always remain same whether you draw it in polar or in Cartesian. However, sometimes in Cartesian it is difficult to draw and it is easy to draw in the polar coordinates. Now the second thing why we switch to polar is here, that topic is here, that changing Cartesian integral into polar integral. That's why now we are changing Cartesian integral into polar integral. Now the thing here is that it is not always necessary that integral will be difficult to plot, region is difficult to plot or sketch in Cartesian integral. However, what happens, the integration itself in Cartesian sometimes becomes very difficult to work with. So in such cases, here the region of integration is not that difficult. It is as easy as maybe in polar. However, when you put the limits of integration in Cartesian and solve the integral, then what happens? The integration becomes complicated or it is difficult to work with. So in that cases also, we also switch to polar coordinates, that is changing Cartesian integral into polar coordinates. So here we are not supposed to, or it is not necessary, at least in this type of question, to change to the sketch the region of integration in polar. Here we can simply draw the region of integration in polar coordinates, in Cartesian coordinates, and then while working with the polar, only there we can find the limits of integration in polar using the same region of integration that we have plotted using Cartesian coordinates. So what is I am saying, let me clear it with an example. Before that, let me write the procedure. For changing Cartesian integral into polar integral. So he says, if you have a Cartesian integral or say fx by dA, you can write it either this one or this one, whatever you want to like. So in such cases, say you have an integral in Cartesian coordinates where R is a region of integration, and R a region of integration represent means you are taking the limits of integration in Cartesian coordinates. Now the step one involves put x equals to r cos theta, y equals to r sin theta in fxy. So first of all, you substitute x equals to r cos theta, y equals to r sin theta. You know this very well, that while we changing Cartesian to polar, we always do like this. And tan theta is your y upon x. And also replace dx dy or dy dx by r dr d theta. So this is the first thing you have to do. Now I will again, after doing step 2, this is a rough strategy to work or change Cartesian into polar. Okay, here step 1 is that you put x equals to r cos theta, y equals to r sin theta in fxy, and replace dx dy by r dr d theta. Then step 2, we provide polar limits of integration for boundary of R. That is the region of integration that you have sketched earlier in Cartesian coordinates. Now what you have to do, you have to just change those limits of integration from Cartesian to polar using the same region of integration, because region of integration will be same whether you sketch it in Cartesian or in polar. Now using the Cartesian region of integration that we have plotted in Cartesian, we will change the limits of integration from Cartesian to polar. This is the thing that we will do in step 2. So Cartesian integral becomes this is your R dx dy, this is your f. X changes with HR cos theta, y changes with R sin theta, and dx dy changes with R dr d theta. And here I am writing G. G simply represents the same region of integration, but here now the limits of integration are in polar coordinates. So region R, region G are both representing same region. However, region R has limits of integration in polar coordinates, and here when we are representing it by same region of integration by G, it means we have here polar limits of integration. So how it works? Let us consider an example. Before that, see these are the general 2 steps for changing Cartesian to polar coordinates. However, it is not that necessary that you will always be following these step 1 and step 2. You have to first substitute x equals to R cos theta, y equals to R sin theta, and then you have to provide the polar limits. You can change these steps as per your own convenience. It is not necessary that you have to do step 1 in the first and in step 2 second always. It depends upon the question, that whatever the question is, you can change the steps accordingly. Now let us see with this example how whatever I have said, how this works in these examples, because many of the things may not be clear to you. But let us now check this example. Change Cartesian into integral into polar integral and then evaluate. So usually what he is saying, you have an integral, this is x0 to ln x square minus y square e under root x square plus y square dx dy. So this is the integral. This is the integral that we have to evaluate. However, we have to evaluate it by changing it into polar integral. Why we are changing to polar integral? You can see the integral itself is not that much easy to solve in the in Cartesian coordinates. It is e raised to power under root x square plus y square, and here the limits of integration are also bit complicated. So when you solve, you can try this in Cartesian integral. So this is not going to be easy to solve, at least in Cartesian integral. So the simple thing is that in such cases, so here the region of integration is not a problem. Region of integration we will see. We will plot the region of integration. That is going to be very, very easy, at least in this question. So that is, region of integration is not the problem. The problem is that while solving the integral, now we are getting complicated things. So to just avoid that thing, to make our question more easy, so we change it into polar coordinates. So how we do? So let us start with first at least let me do this question with the steps we have written, and then in another question we can change the steps also. Let us step 1, put x equals to R cos theta, y equals to R sin theta, so that you have x square plus y square equals to R square, and tan theta is equal to y upon x. So fxy is equal to e under root x square plus y square becomes your e raised to power r. Also dx dy changes to r dr d theta. This is, so we changes the function fxy into polar. This is your function fxy, this is your fxy. So we change it into polar, we change this dx dy into polar. So integral becomes I is equals to g e raised to power r dr d theta. This is the integral we have got now, and only thing left is we have changed all the functions inside the integral, that is fxy and dx dy. We change this one. However, limits of integration, we represent the same region of integration. However, the limits are now in polar. So now we have to find the limits of integration. Step 2, to find limits of integration in polar coordinates. So this is the step 2. Now we have to find the limits of integration in polar coordinates. Okay, so for that we need the integral. We first, in this, we have to sketch the region, because we have to first sketch the region, and that we can do easily in the Cartesian coordinates. So here, first step is sketch the region of integration. And label the bonding curve. So this is the first step we have to do, sketch the region of integration and label the bonding curve. Now I am just taking the integral just to write or plot the region of integration. Let me do it in the next page. We have the integral in the Cartesian as this one, ln2 x0 under root 2. This is I am writing because this is now going to be used. This will be now used in sketching the region of integration, because we will sketch the region of integration from the Cartesian limits of integration. So let me draw the region of integration. Limits of y are given from 0 to ln2, and limits of x are given from 0 to under root ln2 cos square minus y square. Okay, so we have done question like this before, that how to sketch the region of integration from the limits of integration. So from here you get y equals to 0. So here is the line y equals to 0. This is the line y equals to 0. Here you have y is equals to ln2. So y equals to ln2 is somewhere, say here, somewhere here, ln2. So this is the line y equals to ln2. Done. Y equals to ln2. So y is greater than 0, less than equals to ln2. So in between these two lines, whatever the region of integration will be, that will be lying between y equals to 0 and y equals to ln2. Done. From here we have x equals to 0. So this this y-axis is your x equals to 0. Done. X equals to 0. And now you have here x equals to under root ln2 ka whole square minus y square. Let us just solve it and see what we get. It is your x square plus y square equals to ln2 square. So it represents a circle. So basically x is less than equals to under root ln2 cos square minus y square is a sum of the part of the circle x square plus y square is equal to ln2 square. So let me first draw, since this point is ln2, let me draw the circle first of radius ln2, here. is not a circle. Let me just make it a bit fine. Okay, now this is a circle, say, and since you have x less than equal to under root ln2 ka square, although this, even if you draw the circle, that is okay. That is okay. Now since he is saying that if we take the positive part, not less than, say if I take simply this one, just for my own, x equals to under root ln2 ka square minus y square, then it will represent the portion of the circle on the right side of the y-axis. Here x is positive. So this part of the circle it is representing. This part of the circle this is representing. This part of the circle it is representing. And this is your x equals to 0. This is x equals to 0. Now the region of integration between y equals to 0, y equals to ln2, x equals to 0, and this your curve x less than equals to under root ln2 ka square minus y square, or simplest circle. So the region of integration here comes out to be your this one. This is the region of integration that lies between y0 and ln2 and x equals to 0 and below the curve for x less than under root ln2 ka square minus y square. So this is done. Let us label the bonding curves also. This is 0 ln2, this is 0 0, this is ln2 comma 0, since circle is a radius of 0. So now you can see here region of integration, sketching the region of integration is not that much difficult, even in Cartesian. It is simple. What? The integral itself was difficult to evaluate. That is why we are switching to polar. So polar, first thing we have done, we have changed the integrand, that is the fx by dx dy, we have changed that into your polar, and only thing left is the limits of integration. And for that we sketch the region of integration using the limits of integration of your Cartesian. Now here we have a region of integration R, and whose limits of integration now we want in polar. Let us start. How you do? So this was part A, sketching. Now coming to part B, limits of integration in polar. We have done this earlier. So limits of R. What we do, we take an imaginary line starting from origin, passing the region R in the increasing direction of small r. You consider imaginary line originating starting from the origin, passing through region capital R in the direction of small r. So clearly, since the origin from where imaginary line L originates is itself on the boundary from where line is entering. So in this case, limits of r equals to 0, is a lower limit. So let me write it. Oh, it's fine. R equals to 0 to, let me write it properly. This is the lower limit. Why? Because you can see here, origin is basically on the boundary from where line L is entering. So in all such cases we take R equals to 0. Now you can see the region from where it is leaving, the boundary of the region from where it is leaving is your, now let me go to the other page. Now we can see that line L leaves the region through boundary. Which boundary? This is not the thing we need not to write. You can write that directly. Boundary x is equal to under root ln2 ka whole square minus y square. Even you can write x square plus y square equals to ln2 ka whole square. What we have since written this because we draw the polar curve for region of integration in Cartesian. However, now we need the limits of integration in polar. So we need to convert this boundary into polar. And since we have x square plus y square is equal to r square, so this gives r square equals to ln2 square. So basically r equals to ln2. So basically this is the upper limit. This is the upper limit of your r. So r varies from 0 to ln2. So r varies from 0 to ln2. So here this boundary is basically r equals to ln2, and you know very well r is equals to a represent a circle of radius a, and here r equals to ln2 is simply representing a circle of radius ln2, the center at origin pole. Now coming to the limits of integration of theta. Limits of theta. So now we need the value of theta which encloses this region. So clearly, since this is a circle, so clearly this theta equals to 0 and theta is equals to pi by 2 are the values of theta that encloses this region, because since this is a circle and r equals to ln2, for theta equals to 0, you will have your ln2, and then for other values it will go decreasing, and this is theta pi by 2, because for a circle we do not have any such confusion like we have in other polar curves. So here, since r equals to ln2 is a circle of radius ln2, so for given region theta varies from 0 to pi by 2. So this is the value of theta that we will be putting in the limits of integration. So finally, so this is what we have to do when we change the Cartesian to polar. So only thing here we need is the limits of integration in polar and change the integrand fxy dx dy into polar. So finally, so I becomes your, it was e raised to power r dr d theta. R varies from 0 to ln2 and theta varies from 0 to pi by 2. Yes, it is. So clearly now you can see this is basically your theta 0 to pi by 2, r 0 to ln2. This is r dr d theta. So clearly this is easy to solve. This integral is easy to solve as compared to the integral that we have been given in Cartesian. This was the integral. This was the integral in Cartesian, and however, when we switch to polar means when we change the only limits of integration. In polar, we get this integral, and this is easy to work with. And the solution for this is, the solution you can solve to get the solution as pi by 2 ln2 minus 1. Yes, this is. So this is the way of changing the Cartesian integral into polar, and this is the result in this question. So this is the first question where we followed the steps as we mentioned in the strategy. However, I am again saying it is not always necessary that you follow step 1, step 2. You can arrange them according to your own convenience and as per the given question. For an example, let us consider this. Find the area of region R in first quadrant bounded by x square plus y square equals to 4 and above the line y is equals to under root 2 by changing integral into polar, changing integral into polar. Okay, so now you have to find the area of the given region. What is the area? Area is equal to double integral r dA, or double integral r dx dy. And we have to do it by changing it into polar. So in polar, it becomes g r dr d theta. Dr d theta. The only difference here is that now here region is same, but the limits of integration here are in polar, here are in Cartesian, here they are in polar. So now we have to solve the integral 1. Just for that we need only the limits of integration in polar, and for that we need your region of integration. So region of integration is given as this one. In the first quadrant, bounded by x square plus y square equals to 4, and above the line y equals to under root 2. So let us see what the region of integration here comes out to be. This is a circle of with center at origin and radius 2 and radius 2. Okay. So this represents circle of radius 2 units with center at origin. This is your x square plus y square equals to 4. Yes, that. And now he is also giving you the line y equals to under root 2. Y equals to under root 2 means y equals to 1.4. So it is, if it is 1 unit, then 1.4 is somewhere here. So this is the line. This is the line. So let me draw it a little bit downwards. So it is somewhere, say, here. Let us see. This is y equals to under root 2, 1.4. 1.4. Now, this point is your 0 under root 2, and the region of integration is in the first quadrant, bounded by this circle and above the line. So region of integration is this region. This is the region he is saying about. Above the line y equals to under root 2, bounded by circle and in the first quadrant. So this is the region that he is asking about, for which we have to find the area. Now just since here what we are doing, here we are doing the sketch the region of integration. You need not to write while you were attempting the question in paper. Sketch the region of integration, and this is the thing we are doing now, and label the bounding curve. Label the bounding curve. Label the bounding curve. So here we have sketched the region of integration, and labeling we just need only this point, and since we have y equals to under root 2 and also x square plus y square is equals to 4, so x square plus 2 is equals to 4, so x equals to plus minus under root 2. So since x is here on the right hand side of y axis, so we get the point x under root 2, y under root 2. So this is the point under root 2 under root 2. So this point, here this is O, this is A, this is AC, and this is B, and this is under root 2 under root 2. Done. Okay, let me just write it properly here. Under root 2 under root 2. Yes. Done. We have now labeled the bounding curves. Now the thing left is to find the limits of integration of the given region. The region is plotted in Cartesian coordinates. The limits we need in polar coordinates. And for that we need to change the polar curves, whatever we will be having here in polar. So let us start with your step 2. Step 2, limits of integration. Finding limits of integration in polar. So the thing is simple. You start from origin, you take an imaginary line that passes through the region in the increasing direction of small r. So here is the imaginary line we draw that crosses through the region. So first, limits of r. Limits of r. So we will see where the line L enters the region. Where the line enters the region. So it enters at this boundary, this boundary. Clearly, let me write it here properly. Limits of r. Lower limit. L enters region at y equals to under root 2. It enters the boundary of the given region at always at y equals under root 2. So changing it into polar, what we need? Y is equals to r sine theta. Y is equals to r sine theta. So it implies r is equals to cosecant under root theta. This is your, let me write it properly, under root 2 cosecant theta. Yes, so this is the lower limit. This is the lower limit of r. Simply from Cartesian, just everything is same, just in final step you need to change into polar. One thing is done. Again, for the upper limit of r, you can see the line L always leaves the region through this boundary, you can see. And this boundary is basically, this boundary is x is equals to under root 4 minus y square. Since x is positive, no doubt it is your x square plus y square is equals to 4. And that is r square equals to 4 implies r equals to 2. Simple. I am taking this one because r x, the part of the circle that is we have considered, it is in the right hand side of the y-axis. So x is positive. So you write this one and the same thing. So you get r equals to 2. So this is the upper limit of r. So you got the limits of r. It varies from under root 2 cosecant theta to 2. This is the value limits of r for the given region of integration. Now we come to your limits of theta, and this is important, limits of theta. So in this case, clearly we can see here the values of theta that will enclose are shown by these dotted lines. This is the lower value of theta that will enclose from where the region starts, we can say, and this is the other theta which will include. So here theta is equal to pi by 2. We can write it directly because this is a circle, r equals to 2. So theta is absolutely going to be theta equals to pi by 2 for this boundary. Okay. So theta equals to pi by 2 is fine. But what about this one? This dotted array. What is the theta here? So that is what we have to find. Clearly, value of theta lies between. See, so for this dotted array theta, since we have here this point, it is going through, here we have your y is equal to under root 2. That is r sine theta is equal to under root 2. Since this line is going through, dotted line is going through the point B, and point B, we have y is equal to under root 2. R sine theta is your under root 2. It implies 2 theta is equal to under root 2. Since r is equal to 2, point B lies on circle. Point B lies on circle. You can see here, point B lies on circle. So R is going to be 2 here. So this means sin theta is equals to 1 by under root 2, implies theta is equals to pi by 4. Theta is equals to pi by 4. So this is the way you can find the theta. Even you can take x equals to r cos theta. Even you can take the same thing, because x is also your under root 2 at this point. At this point V, x is also equals to under root 2. So you can also take x equals to under root 2, then your r cos theta is equals to under root 2, and you will get cos theta is equals to 1 by under root 2, and same theta equals to 45 degrees. So even from the coordinates of this point B, under root 2, you can directly write that theta is pi by 4. So at least in this question, you can find theta in many of the ways. So here, this is the theta, the lower limit. This is the theta, the lower limit of your theta limit of integration. Now find the upper limit, and that is your very easy. That is pi by 2. I have told you, since it is a circle. So, and also upper limit. So let me write it in the next page. Also upper limit is your theta equals to pi by 2. So if you have confusion that since it is circle, it is going to be. However, say if you have some confusion, what you can do, you can take this point. Say this is the point C, and whose coordinates are 0, 2. Okay. Say you take a point C, whose coordinates are 0, 2. So take any of the points. Take any of the points. Say x equals to 0. X is r cos theta equals to 0, implies r is 2, since P lies on your circle. So cos theta is equals to 0, implies theta is equals to your pi by 2. Yes, done. So from here you can also, even you can take y equals to 2, and from there you can also find. Y equals to 2, if you take, you can get the same theta. But since it was circle, so we directly write theta is equal to pi by 2. So area now becomes I is equal to your r dr d theta. Limits of r varies from your under root 2 cosecant theta to your other limit was your under root 2 cosecant theta and your 2, and theta varies from pi by 4 to pi by 2. And if you solve this integral, you will get the solution as your 1 by 2 pi minus 2. So this integral is in polar, and how we have found it by converting the limits of integration from Cartesian to polar. Although we haven't found the limits of integration in Cartesian, we just from the region of integration we directly come to the limits of the integration in polar. In the previous question, limits of integration were given. In this question, it wasn't given. So if I write it in polar, write it in polar, that area in this, or let me write dy dx. I am writing dy dx, so that let me see I can do it here or not. This is y equals to under root 2. This is the region of integration. And this is x square plus y square equals to 4. So now even you can take dx dy. Here you can take dx dy. Let me take dy dx so that I take a vertical line. But here I am trying to show you, I am just finding the limits of integration in Cartesian. So just you can see that which integral is easy to work with. So y, you can see it enters at your this line, this y equals to under root 2, and leaves at this circle, The circle y is equals to under root 4 minus x square, This is under root 4 minus x square. Y is positive because it is above x-axis, so we take y positive. And the values of x, this is 0, 0, and this is your circle of radius 2, so this is 2, 0. Sorry, under root 2. This was a circle of your, yes, it is your under root 2. So let me write it here. This point here, y is under root 2, and x was your under root 2. So x is 0 to x under root 2. Yes. For the given point this one, we have the coordinates under root 2 as we have found in earlier case. So this is the area if we have worked in your Cartesian. And in polar, you got these limits. These are easy to work with. You can try yourself. Both the integrals are in front of you. So you can try the limits of integration. It goes very directly. Here you do not have to use very complicated integration. However, it is a bit complicated. Even if you forget one of the formulas, you will not be able to do this integration. So, at least in this question, here we now change from region of integration, we sketch from the region of integration, we got your polar limits of integration, and then we solve the question. So this is the second question regarding your changing Cartesian to polar. So this is the reason that why we switch to Cartesian to polar. So two reasons were given to you. First, when region of integration is complicated to sketch in Cartesian. Another thing, when the integral itself is difficult to work with. So in that case, from the region of integration that is already sketched in Cartesian, we just change the limits of integration into polar, and the integrand, that is fxy and dxdy, into polar. So this is the topic of your changing Cartesian to polar. Next is your triple integral. So usually we do not include triple integral much here. Just in a triple integral, since volume is somehow related to the triple integral, so we just go for that only. In brief, because we just mostly concentrate in our syllabus regarding double integral. For triple integrals, we just have one formula of volume that we are going to share with you. Let fxyz be a function defined on closed and bounded region D in space, such as a region occupied by solid ball, then the triple integral of function f over region D is given as your dx y z d. So basically this is how a simple definition of triple integral, that you have function f x y z, and so basically you have w is equal to f x y z, and you have a triple integral over this of the function capital F over the region D, three-dimensional region D. Earlier, remember that when you have a single integral, then you have a single integral fx dx. Here you have A to B. Basically, you are on the line or x-axis. Here, basically, you have the limits x equals to A to B. Then you switch to two variables like this, and here you have a region in the xy plane. Here you were in one dimension. The limits of integration were defined in one dimension, means x-axis, about x-axis only. When you come to two variables, the limits of integration were defined in region R. The region R is now your xy plane. You have the both limits of x and y, and region is in plane. Now when you switch to three variables, or sorry, triple integral, this is dv, volume dv. dv is simply, that is your dx, dy, dz. It's simple, just as your dA represent dx, dy, simply area dx dot dy, length into breadth, length, breadth, height, something like that. This is length, breadth, height. So dv, something volume. So here you have the D. So D is basically now three-dimensional space. It is in 3D. Here now the reason you are saying that on which you are taking the limits of integration, as here it was in 2D in xy plane, here in 1D, here it is in 3D. You have the three dimensions x, y, and your z for your this space or region D. So now volume of this region D is given by your this one. Remember that area of R was your this one du. What you did here, you put fxy equals to 1. You got the area of what? Region R in your this double integral. You got the area of this region R. Similarly, now in this case, here you have got the three-dimensional space, so you get the volume of this D by just putting this fxyz equals to 1. So you get, by solving this integral, the volume of domain D. So this is the reason we are doing the triple integral, that in triple integral also we can find the volume of the region D. D is in your three-dimensional space. So with this, I close this lecture, and in the next lecture we will do some, we will proceed with some more examples of this triple integral that are usually asked in the question paper or in the paper, and also we will do some miscellaneous questions related to your double integral. Thank you. Thanks a lot.